welcome to yet another episode of Unfolding the Tech. I am hosting today's show with a brilliant colleague of mine. His name is Ethan Anderson, and he's an account executive at Google and is responsible to manage the relationship between Airship and Google. So hi Ethan, welcome to the show.
Hi Vivek, thanks so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks man, thanks for making the time. So viewers, even though cloud is a new norm in the enterprises, the overall cloud revenue across all public cloud providers in 2019 was just over $96 billion, which is still less than about 10% of the total addressable market of $1.2 trillion. But the good news is the enterprises are realizing the value of cloud, and this hypothesis is supported by the compounded annual growth rate of over 30% in the cloud market year over year. So in the light of this information, today in the show, we are going to be discussing the benefit of building and securing workloads, apps in a public cloud as opposed to a private cloud or a colo. I feel this is very, very relevant topic in current times when companies are reflecting on their technology choices amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. So to discuss this topic, we have an amazing person from Airship on the show today. So he's a 20-year veteran of building, running, and securing SaaS applications. So after spending 16 years at NetSuite, currently the VP of Engineering and Security at Airship. So welcome, Neil Gariepy. Hey Neil, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Vivek. Appreciate you having me.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for making time, Neil. It's going to be a great show. So before we dive into talking about a specific topic of building apps in public cloud, would you mind telling our listeners a little bit about Airship and what is it focused on?
Yeah, sure. So Airship is a digital customer engagement platform. And what that means is through our platform, our customers have the ability to engage their customers through many channels. So imagine if you were just, for instance, say Starbucks and you were one of our customers. You would use our SDK and build it into your Starbucks app, and then use your marketing team would use our platform to send out all of your push notifications and in-app notifications and email and SMS in whatever mobile channel you could imagine. You can deliver all of that through the Airship platform, but just by putting our SDK into your app, and then of course all the analytics in terms of sends and failed sends and the various demographics that you send to come back into the system for reporting. And we have orchestration features that allow a lot of kind of complex grouping and cohorts for your pushes. So you can imagine where it's really, really valuable in the digital and mobile age.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks. Amazing company. I've been following it for a couple of years now. Thanks for the brief description. So let's get right into the interview for the day. So what are some of the administrative or logistical benefits of using a public cloud, Neil, in your perspective?
Well, some of them from kind of the administrative side, right, is, first of all, you need less employees and less engineers to run on a public cloud, right? So as you mentioned in the intro, before Airship, I was at NetSuite for a little over 16 years. When NetSuite started, there was no public cloud. So we had to, buy servers, get colo space, rack them, all those things. And things that come along with that in terms of kind of human resources are you need data center engineers to kind of rack and stack. You need network engineers to, work on your network and make sure that your servers are available to the outside world. You need sysadmins to image those hosts. And then once you kind of get past all of that, all of the operational stuff, then you can actually get into your systems engineers and your developers actually doing work. With a public cloud, you take out a lot of those kind of human resources and engineers that you need, right? So, running on GCP, we don't need data center engineers. Google is racking and stacking all the servers we could possibly dream of. We don't need network engineers or nearly as many of them because Google's handling all of the internal networking for us. We don't have to image our own servers. So the spend there you can put into more of your R&D spend, which is a huge benefit to kind of growth into the to the company.
No, absolutely. I think it's not only about having less people. It's these people will be able to put their energy into the business impacting areas versus just managing the hardware and plumbing type of work. It'll be more value added work these people can do, right?
Right. And it another thing is just kind of the logistics of ordering and racking servers and kind of dealing with a CapEx budget and moving that a little more to the OpEx. Being able to be a little more flexible with how you use servers and more elastic is even a better way that I like to explain it, where you can really kind of fine tune your resources so that you're only using what you need when you need it, rather than paying for a whole bunch of server space that you'll eventually grow into, but from purchase time until you actually grow into there, you're wasting some spend.
Yeah, exactly. Get in the business the same minute and billing at per second basis versus wasting the entire capacity when it's idle. No, absolutely. Right. So what are some of the technology benefits of being in a public cloud? We talked about the productivity, how quickly you can get in. What are the other benefits from technology perspective that people can see in a public cloud?
Yeah, so some of those are you are kind of getting the latest and greatest tools as quickly as you want them, or as quickly as you can kind of digest them and get your teams to understand them and roll them out, right? So as soon as Google makes Bigtable or BigQuery or Cloud Armor available, and if we want to be in the beta round for that, it's as easy as turning on a few test servers in our staging environment, deploying that technology there, and getting the engineers in the teams familiar with it, starting to use it, figure out how it might fit our application and make our application faster, more efficient, more secure, whatever the case may be, and sort of rolling it out. You don't have to go through a new vendor process, kind of do a bake-off, figure out which one works best, find servers for it. It speeds up the whole process. And with the speed that Google and even Azure or Amazon come out with some of these technologies, it's great again how quickly you can kind of spin them up and get them working in your environment. And another thing is you'll notice when there's a technology that's new and kind of big in terms of the, let's call it, infrastructure space outside of Google or outside of Amazon. And if usually when they become ubiquitous or mostly ubiquitous, right, the big players in the market are fairly quick in sort of standardizing how to run those within their cloud. I think Looker is a good example. Before Google went and acquired them, everybody started using Looker, and kind of, as soon as everybody was comfortable with it, AWS and GCP and Azure, they all had their own way to easily deploy Looker inside of your infrastructure. And again, that makes things easier. There's always some cost benefits there, some sort of economies of scale. So it just, it makes everything move a little bit faster than when you're kind of building your own servers like we talked about before.
No, absolutely. Yes. The pace is the game with cloud. Absolutely. So I know you have been in the industry for a while, and I'm sure worked with all the cloud providers. So what are some of the benefits of GCP versus the other cloud providers you have seen?
Yeah, I mainly worked with AWS and GCP, and they both have some great technologies. And they may be named different, but in general, you can find pretty much everything you need, or at least within kind of the 90th percentile in both places. Where I've been really impressed with GCP, and where I really like working with the team there, is the level of kind of human attention, we get from GCP is just fantastic. I wasn't sure that existed in sort of the public cloud world, and just what I kind of mean by that, right? So back in when I was running colos, and we had the later stages of NetSuite, we had 6 or 7 footprints around the world. So my team was spending a considerable amount of money on colo space and server space, and with that type of spend, you sort of get the white glove treatment from your vendors. You get access to TAMs and a team of sales reps, and they can demo a new product, or get you in touch with the program manager, and they'll take your feedback into the roadmaps, and it's really nice. And that is just AWS is great at a lot of things, especially their availability and reliability. But they were the first player in this market, and they're huge. And at least from my experience, your spend with them, if it's not kind of at the Netflix level or around there, it's hard to get the human interactions that makes you feel like your concerns are getting heard, and you know who to reach out to when you have a problem. Complete opposite experience we've had so far at Airship with GCP. Ethan has been great. Our TAMs have been fantastic. If you sign up with GCP, I suggest you try and get Joe's as your TAM. I don't think the man sleeps. Unbelievable. And between Ethan and Joe's and the rest of our team, anytime we've had a problem or have ideas how something could work better, we like to be not dangerously on the cutting edge, but if there's a solution that we feel like will help our customers or help our availability or security, we're not afraid to kind of dabble our toe in the beta area, where as long as it's not going to do harm. And we run into problems there, we understand it's in beta, so that's great. But also, Joe's and Ethan and the team are really great at connecting us with the product managers of that new product to get our feedback and incorporate it. And if we feel like it's missing something important, we know it makes it onto a roadmap, and maybe it's far down the list, but at least our kind of concerns are heard. So it really feels like a partnership. In the ways I felt like I had a partnership before with my hardware and my colo vendors, and that's not a feeling I've gotten from some of the other big public cloud providers.
No, I think I hear, and this echoes well with what I hear from my customers as well in the area, that the partnership when companies are trying to get into cloud, it's extremely important to have that kind of connect between the cloud provider team as well as the customer, so that the journey, which is not easy in the beginning, is seamless and moves faster, and so that the team can show business value to their leadership and move more and more workload to a more agile environment. I totally agree with that point, Neil. So Ethan, I know you have been working with Airship for a while now. Do you have questions for Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Vivek. So Neil, obviously we've built a great partnership over the years, and really appreciated the opportunity to work with you, and I really appreciate that feedback just now on the level of human interaction you have with GCP. If you were to identify just one thing that you think has the greatest impact on your success from a day-to-day perspective with GCP, what would that be?
I would think it's This is tough. I want to say two things. I know you said one, but I kind of just maybe from just two different angles.
Sure.
One is the reliability, right? That is when you're talking about a cloud provider that is going to service all your customers in your SaaS application and your beholden to uptime. Reliability is kind of super important. And for the most part, GCP has been available and reliable. There's from time to time there's hiccups, but when I ran a colo, we had hiccups there as well, and certainly not as big a team as to resolve them. And everybody has their hiccups. So as we're always kind of looking for the best availability and reliability as possible, it's not something that I lose sleep over, which is really important, right? Like we've got customers all around the world. We're still kind of a mid-stage startup. So, our employees are not necessarily follow the sun yet. So they're on a pager rotation. So, they don't lose sleep over it. I don't lose sleep over the availability. And so that's really important. Sort of the second part of it, which I really enjoy working with Google on, and that has been a delightful surprise, in my 15, 16 months kind of leading these teams and projects, is that Google will, I want to say quarterly, I'm kind of ballparking here, will change their pricing model or release sort of I want to call them mini features. And I say that because it's just sort of a change in the way that GCP will do pricing on certain clusters or nodes, or reduce the cluster size requirements that has been really beneficial to our spend with GCP. So like I said, it's about once a quarter we'll go through the release notes, and somebody on my wonderful infrastructure team will read them and say, hey, this thing we use that we thought we had to have a minimum of 6 nodes, but we're really only using 2 of those in practice. GCP just changed it, so now we can go down to 3. So for that service or that cluster, all of a sudden our spend gets cut in half. And sometimes it's a few $100s a month, which is great. And there's been times where it's been a few $1,000s a month. So our ability to, use that to our advantage, and how, Google is kind of always rolling those things out when we're made aware of them is also makes my job super easy. And it kind of becomes a slam dunk for my presentations to, execs in the board on why we like this partnership, why we want to continue to grow it.
That makes sense. That's great feedback. So we've had a significant partnership for a couple of years now, and we've had some recent interactions that mean that we have a significant partnership moving forward as well, which we're thankful on. When you think forward into the future of our partnership, what are the things that you're most excited about in how we're going to work together?
A few things pop immediately to mind. One is the kind of the Airship growth potential, right? So as we continue to grow, and as the partnership that Airship and Google have kind of formed helps us continue to grow, we're going to be more worldwide, and we're going to have more customers, which means we're going to need more footprints. And based on the speed at which GCP is turning up different locations around the world, kind of rolling out your own fiber and interconnectivity, that's going to make our desire to continue to grow on Google that much easier, both from a decision and a technology point of view. So I'm excited to have Airship grow and spin up new regions, and kind of use the built-in and inherent nature of the Google Cloud to be able to do that quickly and securely. So that kind of excites me. Just Google. People think Google in general, whether you're talking about search or any of the properties in GCP. Very innovative company, always coming out with new technology. The size and the scale at which Google does it with makes it happen fast and very innovative. And as those new technologies and ideas make their way into GCP, I have a very senior infrastructure engineering team with a great leader there who are always looking for ways to use the new tools that are given to us when they make sense. Again, to kind of cut costs, to be more elastic, to be more reliable and available. So as Google continues to innovate, that allows Airship to also innovate. So that's really exciting to me as well.
Hey, Ethan, can I build upon that a little?
Go ahead.
So Neil, it's great about the future of the partnership. What do you see from how are we impacting your business? Could you talk a little bit about the marketplace you have and the co-sell motion that we as a company have?
Yeah, that's something as at Airship we're super excited about and investing a lot of time in right now. Airship's going to be part of the GCP marketplace, which makes it super easy for the Google sales reps to sell Airship into Google's customer base if somebody comes around looking for a content engagement platform, digital marketing solution. It's what's really nice about that is the feedback we've gotten is the Google sales reps are seem very excited to sell this right out of the gate. We think we'll have some joint, very large customers in a short time, so that's obviously exciting from my point of view. And I think Airship being a SaaS application, I think the ease with which Google sales reps can get somebody excited. They want to try it out or add it to their account, and they can just kind of click the button in the marketplace. And again, we're already up. We're multi-tenant. We're SaaS, so we're up and running. So as soon as the new joint customer gets their login credentials from Airship, they can log in and start working. So they don't have to. Not that our direct legal process is very onerous, but because of the way the marketplace is set up and the relationship, and it's they can be on Google's paper if they already are, they can be working on kind of their first flight, or that's our terminology for kind of their first test message within hours.
That's awesome.
Wonderful. So I think we are towards the end of the show. So thanks a ton, Neil and Ethan, for coming on the show, and it was a great conversation, and hopefully something our viewers can really learn from. So thanks for being on the show, Neil and Ethan.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Vivek. This was a great conversation, and thanks for including me and including Airship in this.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, viewers. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, stay safe and have fun. Bye.
Thank you.